Hey there, and welcome to the SlideHub Q3 product webinar. So I'm really happy to launch this webinar and to show you a bit of the new features that we've been working on over the last 3 months. All the new stuff that has happened. We both have some AI stuff coming up. We have automations so that you can just get your presentations created faster. Before diving into all of that, I just want to make sure that we have some housekeeping in order. So we're going to be 3 people from the SlideHub team on today. Anders will be our main speaker, Anders Thomsen, our CEO. He's also the one who's building our products and taking a lot of care about the product. So he will speak into all of the new features that we have created. And then Rune and myself will I will be hosting, and Rune also has a demo he wants to show on the automation side. Let me just admit here. Yes, so this is me and Rune. You probably know Rune because he's heading our customer success department. So he has quite a bit of direct contact with customers every day. And I'm new to SlideHub. So I joined, 2 months ago now, just after the summer. And just to give you a brief introduction to who I am. So I'll be running the sales team at SlideHub. So basically ensuring that the buying journey of buying SlideHub is going to be as sharp as possible. I come with a bit of experience. You probably know Trustpilot when doing e-commerce shopping. I also worked for 23 Acutics and Simplify before, where I've headed sales teams. But a fun fact is that my parents actually had an aquarium farm. So I grew up with more than 1,000 aquariums at my home, and a lot of different kinds of fish. So everything from sharks to crocodiles we had through. So quite a fun childhood. Yes. Anyways, back to the housekeeping. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat. I'm here for that. So making sure that we make sure to answer all the questions in a good way. And it is live. So if there's anything that pops up, just write it and we'll jump on it. The webinar is recorded. That means that they will send it to you within 24 hours so that you can rewatch or share it with colleagues if there's something that you liked. And in the end of the session here, we'll try to do it in half an hour. But afterwards, we'll do a bit of Q&A. So if you have a bit extra time, you can stay around and ask us any kinds of questions. Yes. Quickly on the agenda, we've been through the housekeeping. The first part will be Anders, and he will go through like our approach to AI, what we've been working on and how we are thinking about that. Then we're going to go into what's new, what has been launched already in Q3 and how you can take advantage of that. Then we have a bit of updates on the coming Q4, so the roadmap and how that looks like. And as said in the end, our Q&A. But Anders, I will give you the word now. So I'll just jump on forward here and let you take the presentation.
Perfect, and thanks so much for doing this, Christian. As those of you who have seen this before, Christian basically took over the heaviest part, the introduction, about then got the main responsibility to create the excitement. For those of you who haven't seen our webinars before, I'm Anders. I'm one of the 3 co-founders. The really short introduction to me is that I used to make a ton of PowerPoint presentations as a consultant and as a PE investment manager, but I also been a lifelong coder and programmer. So with my sort of CEO, CTO role here at SlideHub, I really get to combine these 2 sort of passions and spend the vast majority of my time on the product. Since we're going to talk about AI today, another sort of fun fact is that I'm one of the potentially few people who actually was interested in AI before ChatGPT, and where everybody all of a sudden became an AI expert. So I actually spent the last summer before our oldest daughter was born on building a neural network that could recognize numbers based on hand-drawn notes. So a little bit of a fun nerd fact there. There we go. So another thing which is new is that Christian convinced me to start sharing a little bit more about our SlideHub journey. So if for those of you who are interested, you are more than welcome to follow me on LinkedIn, where I do roughly a weekly post describing sort of the life and the ups and downs of running a mainly bootstrapped company / startup for the last 10 years. What an example includes of how our first intern learned that his boss was basically sleeping in the office. So a few things like that. Hopefully you'll find it entertaining. All right. Anyways, that's not why you're here. We are mainly here to talk about AI and product. First, before we dive into a live demo, I just want to talk briefly about how we think about AI and also general approach to AI here at SlideHub. So on a really high level, the way we think about it is that AI is not a new product as such, but it's something that we see as a way to strengthen our existing product vision for end user and consumer managers. So quickly recapping that, what is it that we sort of build towards as a team? For the end users, it's really about making an application that's fast to learn. We know a lot of organizations have many types of software, and being easy to learn is really, really essential. That also means that you need to have direct access to the tools. You can find it where you already work, but also that we don't expose a lot of irrelevant features. And in the end, what we are sort of trying to enable is to have end users make it really easy to be on brand and to customize their presentations and also add back to the library. It's really important that we always start with the end users, because a tool like ours really only has value if the end users adopts it. That being said, the tool also has very limited value without any sort of heavily engaged content managers. So on the content manager front, we spend a lot of time enabling content managers to customize the application so that it fits their particular organization. So there's a lot of ability to turn things on and off, but there's also a lot of focus on ensuring insights in terms of what is being used, what's not being used, who's using it, and so on. So on the end user side, it's really about simplicity, and on the content manager side, it's about insights and flexibility. So that's how we think about it. Okay, so how does AI sort of fit into this? On the manager side, we see AI as an enabler to save content managers time, so they don't have to spend as much time customizing the library and labeling assets. And on the end user side, it's really about getting more value from the asset that's already in SlideHub, but also sort of enabling a few additional core functionality. All right, so enough about the high level chit chat and consulting speak here. Let's talk about some real features. So the thing we are in the middle of building, and something that I'll demo today, is our text to slide feature. You'll see that live in a minute, so I'm not going to go so much more into that. But we're also going to release soon an ability for the AI to automatically classify images and icons within the platform. And then while the first feature, the text to slide feature, mainly focused on using the existing inspiration slides within the SlideHub, we're also going to allow organizations and companies to build their take on the slides that goes into the text and slide feature. And then in last but not least, we're going to enable people directly inside of PowerPoint to use the existing slide content to basically redesign the slides in a way that is on brand and matches the styles that have been set forward by the brand managers. So this is some of the specific things. We're also gonna be doing continuous improvements to these things sort of as we learn from our beta phase. But yeah, so those are some of the specifics. But yeah, let's have a closer look at the actual thing. So, and as we're going to do this live, we just wanted to align expectations a little bit. We all seen a large number of AI product demos sort of over the last years, and you know, when you know, Google and Tesla can do live demos, we figured, what the heck, let's do the same. So with that, I'm just going to share my screen here, and then we can look at the real sort of AI demo here. So what you're looking at now is basically a you have to imagine that we're working for this made-up brand called Acme Logistics that we use for these demonstrations. And what you can see now is I have a new functionality here in my SlideHub task pane called Text to Slide. And the way this feature works, make it a bit bigger, is that I am able to insert text here. So I'm just going to copy some text over here on the other page, but I can also just write it here as I like. And in this case, I'm taking my most recent LinkedIn post and creating a slide from it. One important note is that in the beta phase, we in the product team, my colleagues and I, will look at the input and the output of these slides as a way to basically improve the quality. But once the beta ends, we'll no longer look at the input output. Cool. So this is how it works. You click Find Layouts. The AI will then analyze the content, and it will then provide a few suggestions for which layout structures might work well for this particular type of slide. So let's pick this one here. Then what the AI will do is that it uses the existing SlideHub functionality, of course, in combined with some AI models, to tweak the text a little bit, look for icons, use the existing slide and style settings in order to generate the slide. So you'll see in a second, it adds a new slide here. So it took the different the content I've added, it updated some minor headlines, but we can also, in this case, it actually probably overused the car image quite a bit. So even though I did talk about a road trip, there was probably too many cars here. So I think for this one, I'll say, yeah, decent enough, but you know, the icons were a bit off. So I'll rate it here. All right, so that's one example of how it works. Another example, I'll maybe show that in the large view here. So I'll just increase this one up here. So you'll also find the text to slide feature sort of inside the inspiration slides category here, sitting here on top. So in this case, I will do I'll use a number of customer reviews. So if you see yourself in any of these reviews, then I just want to say thanks a ton for the kind words that was added to G2. You can also see here I actually have the settings where I can go in and I can modify the icon style, I can modify the color and templates, illustration styles, and so forward. But let's try to give this a shot. Does the same thing again. And let's maybe try something with an image on. So let's try this one maybe. And it does the same thing, analyzes the content, tweaks it to the design. Since there's an image in this one, it's going to try to you know, find a suiting image for the content, and then it brings everything together. Then a combined slide, and you know, and then it inserts it. Cool. So you can see it again summarized each of the quotes. But you can also see, you know, this part actually was pretty okay, but the image was not great. So maybe this would be a 4. So the image seemed off. Okay, let's submit this one. But since, we are working in SlideHub and we are directly in PowerPoint, fixing the image here is actually not so much of an issue. So I can use the existing replace image feature here to go in and try to find something else. So let's say here customer review as an example. Saying what could this be? Boom, 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 boom. Maybe we try something big instead. Okay, this seems like something we try. So whenever you replace images in SlideHub, it does like a quick analysis to figure out which part of the image is the best suited one, and then it automatically crops it to match the slide. So you can see in this way, at least there's a very positive impression from the image as well. Yeah, and of course, the slide is more or less ready to use. Of course, it is important to just, validate the copy because it will tweak it slightly in order to make sure it fits the layout and so on. Okay, another way you can use the AI feature is directly through the inspiration slides. So what you can do is that you can take a slide design that you like. So let's try something with a graph here. So you can pick this AI icon here, and then you can provide the text you want to have added here. So in this case, I'm gonna put in some random numbers about growth rates and recent growth price that we've been so lucky to receive, and then try to have the slide being generated using that. So in this case, right, it doesn't ask me for a layout because I already picked it. So it basically just goes directly to the last step. As you'll see here, you did the title. See, maybe this is, yeah. There's a few highlight and there's a summary here. And you can see it updated the graph. The numbers, are available to be edited, so I can open it up here and change it. As I'm running on the Mac, this is a little bit less smooth than it is on a PC, but it is like real data and everything is ready for editing. I think this was pretty solid. So see, solid. Cool. All right. So that's the sort of the highlights. As you can see, it only uses the inspiration slide. It's not inside the company slides yet. So that's one of the things that we'll add sort of later, beginning of next year, likely. All right. With that was sort of what we had planned for AI demonstration. So if some of you are interested, I'm just going to talk briefly about the AI beta. So we already have the first roughly 50 users who sort of shown an interest in demoing this text to slide feature, and we are looking for roughly another 50. That is a really, really good question. So we will also cover how to participate in the beta later. The really short version is that you need to be an existing SlideHub customer. And then as it says here, we're looking for people who are, willing to spend a couple of seconds giving feedback and sharing the thoughts with us. Our aim is really to build something that is, super solid and provides a high quality experience in the vast majority of cases. So that's why we're calling it beta, which is otherwise not something we normally do, but given the extra layer of randomness that's associated with AI, we would really appreciate, having this collaborative approach to making something really cool here. All right. Awesome. So that was the AI part. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that is not in beta, but which is actually released and live. There's 3 things that we want to highlight, and then I'm going to have a few noteworthy mentionings afterwards. The first thing is our sort of updated take on presentation automation. And with that, I will actually pass over the mic to my co-founder, Rune.
Thanks, Anders. Yeah, so the presentation automation with Logix is a way for you to allow your end users to customize a presentation based on, for example, which industry they might be presenting for, or which type of client. So it's think of it as having some mandatory slides in the presentations that your users should present, and then by just allowing them to click through a form, they can customize an entire deck in a matter of seconds. So I'll just quickly share my screen here, and then you can see what it actually looks like. So as Anders mentioned, we have the Acme Logistics account that I'll also go into. And then I have these questions that I can then answer. So which type of service am I going to pitch? Warehouse management. I'll pick consumer electronics for the industry. And for the region that my client is based in, I'll pick EMEA. And then it combines the logic with our previous features. So I can type in SlideHub here for a logo. So even not huge companies, it can find all kinds of companies and continue. And that's basically all you need to do. Then it's going to pull in the different slides into my presentation, insert the placeholder, and then also fill in the logo. So now we can see the customization has happened here. The image is of a warehouse. I have the SlideHub logo up here. It also put in SlideHub into the actual text. Then we have some mandatory slides here that everybody should present. And then we get to, it has inserted the logo here as well. I have the warehouse management solution slides here. And the case study that we are presenting is also from consumer electronics that also picked. And it has the EMEA contact us slide. So just a really fast way to customize a deck in a matter of seconds. Of course, you can tweak this afterwards if you feel like it. This also works in Word. So if you have some contracts or large documents that you want to automate with Logix, this is available in Word as well. Me and my team can both do it with you, help you set it up. Or we also have a paid for you where you just instruct us on the output that you're looking for, and we will set it up on your behalf. Back to you, Anders.
Thank you so much, Rona. Let me just get the slides up here. Just gonna go through the grid view, and we're gonna go back. All right. So the next thing that we wanted to talk about here is something we call admin managed data. So the problem we're trying to solve with this feature is that particularly for even just medium-sized libraries, one of the things that's quite a pain for our content managers is to maintain what we call sort of these key data points. So for example, how many employees are we? How many stores do we have? How many clients do we serve? What is our CO2 footprint? All these sort of commonly used numbers, AUM if you're a PE fund, all those different kind of things, right? They are a lot of times they're written in a large number of slides. So for example, the number of clients or FTEs could be in, let's say, 10 or 20 or even 30 slides across your library. So normally with SlideHub, you kind of already have some help because you can have the same slide can be used directly or automatically in multiple presentations. So normally when you update one slide, it will update all the presentation automatically, and then end users will get a new version of of the presentation. But with the admin managed data, we've taken it one step further. So instead of having this sort of existing process, imagine that you're updating the number of FTEs, and that number is in, let's say, 10 different slides. With the admin managed data, all you need to do is just change that one number from, let's say, 100 to 150. And all of a sudden, all those associated slides will directly update. And so will the presentations, right? So you can have with one click, you can basically, in some cases, update hundreds of different presentations automatically. And then with SlideHub, make sure that people are, informed and they get notification about these changes, right? So it really it can be a bit of a lifesaver. And one of the things we also like about this is that it can help to increase the trust in the data and the numbers that is in the library, which we know can often be a bit of a discussion topic in many organizations. All right. Speaking of versions and updates, another thing that we released here in Q3 is improved slide comparisons. And for this, we made a short video to kind of show what exactly do we mean by this.
With the slide comparison feature, you can now instantly track differences between slides, whether you are scanning the library for duplicates or reviewing updates, making it easier than ever to monitor changes. When a version warning appears within PowerPoint, you can now compare the differences between your open version and the updated version before inserting the latest version of the slide. Simply select the Highlight Changes button in the task pane, and a new window will open where red highlights clearly show the changes. You also have multiple ways to compare. If you prefer a clean preview, you can toggle Hide Changes to view the latest version without highlights, or choose Compare Side by Side to see your open version and the latest version next to each other. Managers can easily compare the latest slide with previous versions directly in Manager View. Simply open a slide settings, go to the previous versions, and from the Actions drop-down, select Highlight Changes to see exactly what has changed over time. End users can also access slide comparisons for the updated slides. In the Changes view, simply hover over the slide you want to review and click the Highlight Changes icon to see what's different. And that's it. We hope this new feature helps you review updates faster and more clearly.
Very cool. So those were the three main things we wanted to mention, plus the AI, of course. A few other noteworthy changes that I think that's worth considering. One is that we now allow all assets on the system to be in draft mode, which basically means that the document can exist in SlideHub but not be shown for end users. Another thing is that end users can now, inside the end user view, filter slides based on multiple categories at the same time, which is something that really allows for more sort of dynamic ways of categorizing content in the system. And thirdly, we now have a way inside the manager view to try to find some of your really high runners, the slides that are just used in so many different presentations. So you can now go in and filter by the number of presentations a given slide is used in. Last but not least, we have made a number of improvements to the manager interface for automation management. We really believe in investing a lot in these sort of manager features, as in the end, those are the one that enables the good experience for the end users. All right. If in general you want to stay more up to date and you don't want to wait for the next webinar and just want to see what's happening in SlideHub right away, then you can do it in multiple ways. One is to look at our blog. It gets a monthly update. You can also sign up for a product update newsletter where you get a video updates of some of the latest releases. But you can also join our sort of direct update release notes where we update almost once a week with different patches and feature releases. If we take a look a bit sort of forward, then for the next quarter, we're going to continue focusing a lot on AI. So it's going to be a really big topic for us. But as with our sort of expanded engineering team, we're also going to be able to increase a number of other sort of related product areas. Some of them using AI, some sort of more building on top of our core product vision, where we want to help people, stay on brand and be more sort of efficient at work. And of course, if you're interested in any of these specifically, me and my team are more than happy to set up calls and discuss our thoughts about these, how we're thinking about it, and here, get your input on how we can build these features in the most effective way. With that, I will pass the mic back to our dear hosts.
Thank you so much, Jonas. Thank you for going through everything. So if you would like to take part in the beta, please just get hold of either Rune if you're an existing customer, and if you're a new customer, get hold of me. And if you have any feedback, always feel free to share it with others. I know he's a lover of that slide, that kind of stuff. Anyways, I don't know if we have any questions, but I know we have prepared one at least that we just want to make sure to go through. And if you have any question, of course, just add it in the chat on the right side. Yes. So the main thing I actually wanted to make sure that you're aware of is how do you handle my data when I use AI in SlideHub? I think this is a really important question and something that, yeah, make sure that you can actually use it. So Anders, how do we do that?
Good question. Yeah. So we naturally, given our 10 years of experience and working with a lot of very professional organizations, we take like data security extremely serious. So we've spent quite a lot of time figuring out who we should use to as the infrastructure providers for building the AI functionality. So and what we sort of really look for was partners that don't store either the input or the output of the sort of AI processing or the input tokens. That means they also don't use the input or the output for training models in any way. So that has been really core. Another thing that's been really core is that these organizations are SOC 2 Type 2 certified and have sort of a proven track record of sort of excellence when it comes to security. Specifically, we work with two main organizations on this. Cloudflare, which is a publicly traded company that has been focused on security since day one, and a company called Grok, which is sort of a leader in doing what's called fast inference, where they build some hardware to make this stuff work really, really fast. So this has been really, really essential to make this work. As I briefly mentioned before, during the beta, me and my team will have a look at the input and output of what you built with this feature. So make sure to check this with your security team and consider the things that you built. Once the beta is over, we're not gonna store either the input or the output. Yeah. So that's hopefully that answers your question.
It did. Thank you so much, Anders. I don't think we have any other questions in the chat, but if you do have any questions and you just want to ask it through email, feel free to do that instead. But I also want to just, or maybe Petter, you have a question here. I don't know. But else, you're also welcome to just share what you thought of the new AI functionality and how we are, working towards making your life easier. That's always nice to hear. For beta, you only see slides.
Yeah. So the way it works, right, is that when you put in a certain text, the system will analyze that text and it will come up with, it will see within the pre-approved inspiration slides that are sort of suited for AI, which of those layouts are most likely to match the text you provide, and then those are the ones that you'll be shown. The AI will do sort of customization to fit the slide that you select, but it will also try to like guide you towards the best matches. In the sort of inspiration section, you can basically just go directly to the inspiration section and pick any slide you want, and then you can execute the sort of the AI text to slide for that particular slide.
I also just want to say that when you're using this functionality, if you see some ways where it could be improved even further, so that the way that if you want to, for example, select more slides when you're building from the text to slide functionality, just let us know and we'll put it into how we're thinking about the product going forward.
Yeah. It's a good question on the LLMs. We are using llamas, so we only use open source models. So that's of course a very important thing for us. So we use the the open version of OpenAI's more recent model with the open weights, and then we're using the Meta models, the Llama models, as the others. In general, we are changing the models and experimenting with different models sort of over time, but we're only going to use open source models as one of our sort of core compliance frameworks or rules or guidelines.
Thank you. And in general, I think one of our core ideas of the platform is that you get a slide and then you can work with the slide using the existing SlideHub functionality. I think what we felt with a lot of the other solutions where you're using Gen AI to build slides is that they're very restricted in that sense. So we feel that both giving you a lot of options to choose, but also afterwards being able to work on the things that has already been created in PowerPoint, hopefully will help out. Peter, you're asking, can I use beta feature with sensitive information? I'm not sure if that's...
Yeah, so I think that, it's a bit of a valid question, right? So the only thing that gets sort of processed or in any way seen by, me and my team is the thing you put into the text box. So you can have, whatever you want running in your presentation. In general, we cannot really read or, process those things. We only see the things that you put into the text box, so you have full control over which information that we see.
And we will not share that information with anyone. And in the case of most of our customers, we have both a DPA and NDA. So in that sense, it will not be shared outside of SlideHub.
No, of course. And we're also not going to use the information to train AIs or anything like other than that, right? It's purely for us and the product team to have the best foundation for improving the results during the beta phase. Once the beta phase is over, you can also put sensitive information in there and nobody is ever going to see it.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining in, and have a very nice evening when you get there. And thank you, Anders, and thank you, Rune, for joining in.
Thank you.
Pleasure. All right.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.